the plants, the fields, and the spring that turn from green to that harvest honey. Hold one up for the banker downtown that got him on his feet with handshake money. Here's to the farmer's wife.
So the article that we will be discussing is titled Agricultural Production and Productivity in Canada. This article was written by Richard Gray, who is a professor at the University of Saskatchewan in the Agriculture and Bioresources Department, and also Terrence Veeman, who is a professor at the University of Alberta in the Department of Resource Economics. The main focus of this article is how productivity in Canadian agriculture has changed over the past 50 years. This article discusses many different factors that have led to an increase in productivity and efficiency of Canadian farms, and today we're going to discuss a few of those factors while relating them to the underlying economics of the article, and also discussing some of the implications and benefits that it has had for agriculture.
It's another day in the dusty haze.
So in order to understand fully what the article is discussing, it's important to understand the underlying economics that are within the article. With this article, some important economic theories that we're going to discuss are market structure, economies of scale, the production function, and as well as the production possibility frontier. So first up, we have market structure, and in terms of Canadian agriculture, a lot of farmers are actually participating in what looks to be like an oligopoly market structure. And to define an oligopoly, it means that there's a few sellers within the market that are large and also control a lot of the market power. Oligopoly also allows for farmers to know what other farmers are doing, and this is how they base their decisions in terms of what they're going to plant for the year and what prices they're going to take for their product. The next underlying economic theory that we're going to discuss is economies of scale. So economies of scale is when larger firms enjoy cost advantages due to the amount of output that they are producing. So firms that are producing on a larger scale actually receive benefits because when they're producing more, their fixed costs are spread out over a wider range of inputs, and therefore in order to produce each additional unit of output, it actually is costing them less each time. So larger farms in today's Canadian agricultural world are actually enjoying more benefits and therefore can be more successful than smaller farms. So in order to increase your overall production, you're going to have to increase one of the factors of production. So this includes things such as technology, capital, and labor. So in order to increase your technology, you're going to have to do more research and development, and that's something that's really influenced Canadian agriculture over the past 50 years is the introduction of new technology, and that's allowed farmers to be a lot more productive in terms of their yields and having crops that are resistant to different pathogens. So then also to increase your production, you're going to have to increase the amount of capital, so more land, more tractors, and also increasing the amount of labor. So that's either increasing the amount of workers you have, the amount of hours that they're working, or just increasing their labor efficiency. And that can be done by taking classes at the university in order to increase their knowledge. And then what ties into that is the production possibility frontier. So when you have increased technology, increased capital, increased labor, you can produce at a higher rate on the production possibility frontier, which is going to allow you to make more money and be more efficient within your business.
Now we're going to look at the implications for agriculture. The implications we see within the article, which we'll be talking about, are the increases in both production and productivity. To go more in depth within the article, we will discuss how farmers and the markets have advanced in order to see increases in both production and productivity. For these improvements to happen, the agricultural world had to make many changes throughout the years. The main topics within the implications of agriculture we'll focus on are the decreased number of farms, the average age of the farmers, the size of the farms comparing the 1960s to the 2000s, the decreased amount of work outside of the farm, and the increase in crop yields through both increases in technology through the equipment and advancements in seed breeding. Looking at the first table, it is easy to see the comparisons of total number of farms in 1971 compared to the number of farms in 2011. The difference being 39,838 or 52% more farms in 1971. From a smaller range of years, there are still significant changes happening. For example, from 2006 to 2011, there has been an increase of 15% of the size of farms. Although this makes it seem like a step backwards in production, this is actually a step forward. This is because less farms in the market give way to the bigger, more effective farms within the agriculture world. You can also see on this table the average age going from 49 to 54. This is significant to agriculture because this relates to being more informed within the farming world and more agricultural knowledge towards how to manage a farm effectively and efficiently. On the next two graphs, we look at the total number of farms in Saskatchewan by sales. Now these two tables only show us the difference between 10 years, when in fact the article itself talks about a difference within 50 years. When we look at the number of sales, you can see a trend. That trend is the difference of sales throughout the years. It shows that more farms had a lower total of sales in 2001 compared to 2011. You can also see that within just 10 years, there are 13,646 less farms in 2011. Although the number of farms are decreasing at an alarming rate, it is because the big farmers are working more effectively and efficiently, which helps them make more revenue and have greater cash flow. In today's agricultural markets, for a farm to have more cash flow, those farms can remain in profit when spending big amounts of money on chemicals, seeds, taxes, etc., while smaller farms cannot keep up with this increased amount of money being thrown into all these new advancements and technologies. Now we will talk about the decrease in off-work farms. Back in the 1900s, this was a very common thing for farmers to get jobs in the winter and for the women to also have jobs throughout the year. This was done because the farm itself was not bringing in enough cash flow in order to pay the bills along with maintaining a profit. The number of off-farm work has decreased throughout the years because those who still farm require to have full-time work. This is due to the fact that the farms that are still around are increasing more and more in the size and in order to stay competitive. These bigger farms bring enough profit to pay the bills and maintain a profit without having to find extra work for money. For the last topic, we are going to talk about the increases in yield. With the increase in yield, the main thing that makes this possible is the increase in technology. Through the past 50 years, agriculture has grown enormously when talking about the increase in technologies. With the size and efficiency we have in today's equipment, a farm can do many acres throughout the day. Being able to have better equipment that shows the farmer optimal times for seeding and harvesting is huge. This technology also allows them to cover more land in less time, which is a huge thing in talking in terms of productivity. But along with the technology improvements in the equipment that farmers use, there are also huge technology advancements in the seed breeding. For many years, wheat, barley, canola, corn, soybean, and peas have been the major crops grown in Canada. And over the past 50 years, with the help from seed breeding and the research and technology advancements done, the agricultural world in Canada has seen an increase in yield from up to 60%. This is because researchers are bringing out new varieties that can thrive in different locations in different soil zones. In 1990, a herbicide-tolerant canola was introduced, which led to having more disease-resistant varieties being able to fight off diseases to get better yields. Along with these increases in technologies through crop farming, there's also huge increases in technologies through livestock. The two major increases we notice are the increases through better feed, which allows better, bigger, and healthier cattle by giving them the nutrients that they need to fulfill a healthy lifestyle. And by having those farmers give better care to the animals so they could be healthier throughout their lives, to grow bigger and stronger, to produce better quality meat. Many strategies and improvements have helped impact changes in both production and productivity throughout the agricultural world in Canada, while many changes are still coming to help improve these numbers even further. That being said, it is now time to wrap up the presentation. We have talked about the underlying economics and how farms have created an oligopoly in the market, while discussing how larger farms are more efficient when compared to smaller farms, along with developing greater agricultural practices to help maintain success in the future. We have also talked about the increase in technology causing increase in price and increase in yields. We have also talked about how this article applies to agriculture and how past years have changed when comparing them today. It is also noted how the number of farms have decreased over the past years, but the size of remaining farms has increased substantially. This article talks about how technologies have increased, which gives farmers nowadays a lot bigger advantages by being able to cover more land in less time and having better varieties to grow, which have been proven to produce better yields within certain farmers' locations and soil zones. We have also talked about the better practices for livestock. These practices being better feed and having better care for these animals to produce better, bigger, and healthier cattle. And finally, we have talked about how both labor increases for both crop and animal production is huge when talking in terms of productivity and production, because more time spent on working in these areas will allow more time to learn and more time to use this knowledge and apply it to practices that can help your farm increase in productivity.
This is the end